It is a sensational and exclusive story that you just cannot miss. A former cast member for the Walt Disney World Resort returns after some years and finds out just how poorly some guests are treated. And this particular cast member also happens to have major mobility issues. Today, we're wondering where the magic went, and it's a story you cannot skip. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome back to the Pro Channel. Happy to have everybody out there listening in as we attempt yet once again to lift up your day by giving you the latest news when it comes to entertainment and helping you stay ahead of the culture curve. Helping us do so today is a new guest to the channel, Marina, who has visited the Walt Disney World Resort back in January, and Marina is an international guest to Disney, and I think can provide us with some special insights into how the world more broadly is recognizing sort of some of the issues that the Disney World Resort faces. Always remember, folks, that Disney World itself has often been viewed as the vacation kingdom of the world. It's the place you want to go if you want to ride rides and meet Mickey, but things have changed over the last few years. And so, Marina, with your latest trip to Walt Disney World, can you give us some of your thoughts about the quality of the parks and the overall experience that you had?
Yeah, would gladly do so. So I'm from Germany, so maybe my accent is maybe a little bit weird for some people, but I think it will be fine. I did the program for Disney in 2015 for epcot for Germany, so I knew how the standards were in 2015. I went the last time before COVID, 2018. It was a little bit strange back then, but it was okay. I'm going quite often to Disneyland Paris. Disneyland Paris is another story. It's going really, really badly downhill there, but I thought Disney World would still be a place I could enjoy. So I bought my ticket, one day each park. And yeah, I have a disability, so I'm able to use the DSA pass. That's a pass like, you can say, the fast lane for free. And I had a really bad experience at Tower of Terror because they scan your pass and the system doesn't want to work. It was a fault in the system, a cast member told me. And they just want not to, they don't want me to ride the ride. They said, no, you need to go. You can't ride. You are here. You skipped the queue. And they were accusing me of so stupid stuff. And I was like, please, what is wrong? I scanned in the beginning, it went green, everything is fine, and now you are accusing me of skipping the line. And she started yelling at me in front of the whole queue and the whole crowd, and I was like, okay, then I will leave. She wasn't able to leave me through the emergency exit. She said, no, you have to go all the way the queue at the queue line, and I was like, why? I started to panic.
And despite a disability.
Yeah. And you can see my DSA access. I am able to use this part of the queue. And she was just, no, you are not able to ride. I'm not allowed it. And I was going back to the front entrance where they scanned my ticket the first time. They were talking to each other. They don't even listen to me. They were just like, no, I don't care. Just go to guest relations. And I was like, that's not Disney anymore, because normally you get treated really well, and if there's a fault in the system, they will figure it out for you and not accuse you that you made a mistake. And I complained at guest relations, and they were like, yeah, I'm sorry that happens to you. I will give you a refund for 2 days, and maybe we will never see you again. And I was like, okay. I learned to treat customers different when I was a cast member. It started at Magic Kingdom. No one is wishing me a magical day anymore, because that's the phrase you learned at Walt Disney World, to wish a magical day. It's gone. So no one is wishing you a magical day anymore. And I heard a lot of complaints about the new FastPass system for Guardians and Tron. You are boarding at 7 a.m. in the morning and get a pass maybe for 1 p.m. And you have to stay in line for another 2 hours before you are able to board the train. The people are just like, then why have a lightning lane. Why have a vertical queue if you still have to wait for 2 hours to go on the ride? It makes no sense. And
the devastating thing for Disney World too, Marina, is that then you are going to leave with that horrible experience, which, by the way, I'm so sorry that you were
it's
treated
fine.
that way. That was unkind, unfair, and undignified. And Disney should do better, and everyone and every company should do better than that, and most do. But
Yeah.
that said, you leave with that experience and you go tell people about that experience, just as you're doing now. And if that happens on scale, so if there are many people who have that sort of an experience because of that one very sour cast member or cast members, then there are hundreds and thousands of people who hear about these negative experiences, and suddenly they also don't want to go to Disney World anymore because they feel that there has been a change. Can you talk to us about the standards when you were at Disney in 2015 and how those might differ from what you witnessed?
The Disney look is completely gone. I had to grow my hair at least shoulder length. It was a nightmare because I wear my hair shorts, but it was like, okay, I want to work for them. I have to complain with their rules, so I was fine. No tattoos were allowed. I have tattoos. This was a big problem, but they said, yeah, okay, you need to cover them up. And I was like, okay, fine. I went to Japan, to Disney Japan, and I'm into the culture of Japan, and it's really offensive to have a tattoo. So it makes sense that Disney, because it's a vacation place for the world, said no tattoos. And I know from Japanese guests that the tattoos from the cast members are offending them. So why not cover them up? I can't understand it, why it's not a rule anymore. And yeah, your hair color was really strict back in the days. And even if you lean on a table during your shift, you get a point. So it was really
So it
hard.
seems to me that individual expression within Disney parks, now not all individual expression. So if you express yourself in certain political manners, then you're headed for a trip to human resources. But certain individual expressions that conform with what corporate Disney likes right now, for whatever reason, that overshadows the need to be on stage, to be show ready, to play your part inside the parks. And so that it's disenfranchising. I think it pulls people out of the illusion when they're inside Disney parks. When you're in Frontierland, you're wanting to see characters who look like they came out of Frontierland, and so you're not just a cast member, you're a character playing a role on that set.
Yeah, you're
And
on
now
stage.
that's all
You're on
changed.
stage. Yeah.
Yes, that's all changed now. And on stage, this would not work on Broadway. This would not work in theater. You would not allow someone to modify their costume such that they no longer look like they come from that time period. But perhaps, Marina, and maybe you can speak to this, it seems that some of the policies that the Disney company has taken up have caused them to have more difficulty in finding people who want to work for them. And I think that may have been the reason they've had to lower the standards so much, is because they became a company that people like you no longer said, "Oh, I'll do whatever it takes. I want to work for Disney." And now they're forced to hire people who don't care. They don't care about Disney. They don't care about the legacy. They just want to make their money and go home. And that's a very different company than 10, 15, and definitely 30 years ago.
I can talk from the international programs. At my time, it was really hard to get into the program. I think it was 3 or 4 interview stages, and they were really picky. And now they take literally everyone who is applying from Germany get into the program. And still, they don't have enough cast member to cover epcot. There were KitKat spots where no one was sitting. They're just leaving the stickers there so you can take them. And I think epcot is about representing your country and show the people where you're from and talk to them and explain your country, and not to leave an empty spot to collect your sticker. It's a shame, and people are not smiling anymore. I'm smiling to everyone because I want to be nice. You never know if the other person had a bad day and the smile couldn't make them happy. So yeah,
That's right.
no,
And smiling is good for us too, health wise, I'll tell you.
yeah,
Um,
no one is
and so
smiling at Disney anymore. So
Yeah, it's
It's
a sour demeanor, and I agree. I'll tell you the other thing that weirds me out, Marina, is when I go into the Disney parks now, and I've always been a major advocate of the cast members. That has, I'm not saying that I'm no longer an advocate of cast members, but uh, well, I'll give you my experience. So you had a very negative experience, and worse than mine. But when I was going into, I think it was Animal Kingdom, but it might have been Magic Kingdom. When we were going through the entrance, for whatever reason, a cast member thought that my wife had skipped the line, just like, your experience. And that cast member began to yell at my wife. And so I turned to the cast member very rapidly and said, "She's with me. She's been with me." And the cast member, started to respond to me in a harsh way. And I said, "You need to go back to your training and remember how to do this." And she kind of looked shocked, and I just brought my wife through and kept going. But that's the kind of stuff that, you don't do that. You don't yell at adult guests
no,
who have
and
done nothing wrong. It's crazy.
you have to go to Disney University. At least I had to go for nearly 2 weeks before you were even allowed in your park. And then you had a specific park training to learn all about your park before you are going into your job. It was a really, really long progress, and then you have to make some tests if you have the skills for the job. Otherwise, they will train you as long as it takes. And I don't think that they will do it anymore. And yeah, it's a
Marina, let's
shame.
talk about something other than the cast members for a moment, though, because it's not just the cast members that I'm concerned about when it comes to Disney parks. And so one of the things that I'm really worried about is you were talking about Epcot. Epcot has felt very much like a construction zone for the past years, and now that it's starting to resemble less a construction zone, it's not necessarily impressive what we've all, been navigating around walls for. You worked at Epcot. Now Epcot is, finishing its transformation. What did you think of what you saw, after all these years of so much work? Was it worth it in your viewpoint? Did you think the park was better or worse than when you were there in 2015?
I'm really sad when I think about Epcot. I did the bad mistake. I take the monorail from TTC as a transportation and ticket center to Epcot, and you can see the whole nightmare from about the monorail. There's nothing left. That's the
Yes.
problem. World Showcase, I think it's fine, but as I said, it's not the international feeling anymore because there are not enough international cast members, but the whole park is gone. They don't even have dolphins anymore. I was asking about the dolphins. Yeah, no, we get rid of them. And I was like, why?
Right.
Why the dolphins?
Right. Of all the things that you
Yeah.
had to get rid of.
And
So
missions, even test track, it's you don't have fun anymore. If you do single rider, you're not allowed to build your own car. So you are you can't have the whole experience if you do the single rider line. And I was like, why? Just let me take the time to build my car. It's the whole point about test track, isn't it? No, just go on the ride. And I was like, I'm not consuming. I'm here to enjoy myself, to feel the
and you
Disney
and you spent a
bubble.
lot of money to be treated well, and that didn't happen. And that's been my experience the
In the
last
shops,
several times that I went to Disney. Yes.
I didn't know. I don't know if you know about the new next level courtesy thing that is happening at Disney, where they need to upsell you stuff when you go into the shops. And I was like, this would be the point where I had left the company because I couldn't do it. They
Right.
are
It's the
spending
Disney
so much
Supersize
money.
Me campaign. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, and that's why. Just why. And the
And
thing that they are get rid of the parking situation, you could take a bus to Disney Springs or to TTC, the public buses from Orlando, and use the monorail and go from there to the parks. It's not, you can't do it anymore. They get rid of the buses at Magic Kingdom, so you're not able to hop to the parks. You need to go on the monorail to Floridian and take a bus from there. So you need nearly 2 hours to go to Hollywood Studios or Animal Kingdom. They just want you to pay the $30 for parking, and I'm from a country far away. I don't pay over $2,000 for a rental car, and then pay $30 a day for parking my car. So
yes, and we're not here to destroy Disney. We're here to point out major problems. And it just so happens
Yeah.
that these problems are huge and they need to stop because they're destroying the magic. They're destroying the desire for consumers to want to return to the parks. This
And
has been a blight on your experience, not only with going to the parks this last time, but also, you know, it reforms the way that you look at your time with the company, and that is a really,
yeah,
really horrible shame. I hate
I
that.
thought about working for Disney, maybe National Geographic or Fox News or something like this for the German market. But I'm at the point where I say, no way, I don't want to work for the company in any department. They destroyed my belief in Disney, so
Well,
I'm a
Marina,
huge Marvel fan. So no,
let's give the folks out there some hope, though. And if you're a Disney person watching, there's going to be a lot of cast members who have been listening to this. Many of them agreeing, some of them offended, some of them, you know, saying, "Well, this is not my experience." There's going to be a wide
yeah.
spectrum of response to this. Marina, what do you think still actually works at the Disney parks? What still gave you that feeling? What still made you say, "Okay, this is still good"?
In my opinion, I enjoyed Magic Kingdom. I had a good time there. Yeah, the whites break down all the time, but Universal whites are breaking down either. So that's not an issue only Disney has. And it was not overcrowded, and it was just nice. You can relax, and they let you have fun. They are not coming to you. They are not talking to you. The people are more relaxed and enjoy their holiday, and just to see the castle, the fireworks. I think the magic is still there, and I'm really looking forward to go to Tokyo Disney again because I loved it last year. So I have hope for the
Yes.
company if they try to turn around
And
because
Tokyo Disney, of course, is run by the Oriental Land Company, OLC, and they seem to do a much, much better job right now than
yeah,
Disney Parks. They
it
still
was
act as if it
amazing.
is 3 decades ago. They're phenomenal, and the
Yeah,
parks there are phenomenal. And I hope
they
you
are
enjoy
clean.
Splash Mountain very much there.
Yeah, they are clean. Disney,
Yes,
the sea park is beautiful. You don't feel Disney in this Disney by Sea. It just is another world. They take care of Jules Verne in Paris. They get rid of Jules Verne. Space Mountain is now Hyperspace Mountain, and it's really
yes.
sad because it was such a good ride, and I love it that they take the classics are still there in Tokyo, all the classic rides, and I still enjoy them in Orlando, the classics, because they did a great job in designing them, and they are still up to date. So
Marina,
and
as someone who has had a very negative experience at the parks, I'm going to give you the opportunity now. I think this is the best way for us to end our conversation and the video, although I hope there'll be conversations in the future as well. I've very much enjoyed speaking with you,
yeah,
but this is the chance, I think, for you to speak to the cast members who are listening. What is the way that a cast member should approach working with a disabled person who's in a situation like you were in at the Tower of Terror? How should that be remedied? How do you do that in the best way that makes that person feel good and yet does protect against situations where maybe someone was trying to skip line or something like that?
I think they should take me to the side and just look at my pass, just look at my app, because guest relations said me afterwards there was a system fault in my app. So if they just took the time to look at it, everything would be fine. They should see there's a difficulty at the app at the moment, and just take your time. We will take it and try it again a few more, minutes later, and everything would be fine. No worries. It would be nice. But another part is they should treat disabled people in a different way, because as I applied for the DSA at guest relations, they were telling me, yeah, you only get the DSA pass because you are on your own. Otherwise, you need to use the wheelchair. And I was like, I just have problems standing a long time, period, and not walking or such a thing. I don't want to use a wheelchair. It offends me. I don't like it. And I think they should train their cast members to behave in a different way with
Sounds like you had
disabled
quite a
people.
few inappropriate interactions where they did not treat you with the respect they should have. That disappoints me greatly. That happened on multiple
Yeah,
occasions
and
regarding your disability.
I'm working with a lot of disabled people, like blind people, mental health issues. I try to give them a voice as a journalist, so I'm really sensitive to this topic. And it starts like in Magic Kingdom Main Street. Imagine walking Main Street with a person who's blind. It's not accessible. And I think it's a shame because they are normal people. They want to live a normal life in our society, and they are not able to go through Main Street without someone who guides them. And
well, this is a real problem, and I hope that there is Disney management who's been watching this video and has picked up on a great need to improve and improve rapidly and to retrain quite a few individuals. I want to end it here.
Yeah.
And that is to say that the new protocol in Disney parks to refer to everyone as friend and to use that non-gendered language, if you have all of your cast members calling people friend, but they do so without a smile, and they do so without kindness, and they do so while they, at the same time, treat people without dignity, then it comes off as even more off-putting than it already was. So that might be an idea.
It's a little bit creepy, I think.
It is a little bit creepy. I
because
totally
we are including everyone, but excluding the disabled people. And
that's right. And apparently excluding anyone who the cast member thinks has done something wrong on that day. And that's not always the case. And oftentimes, the people who are in these Disney parks right now are paying an awful lot of money to be treated quite poorly. And that's no good. Well, Universal Studios, though, folks, Universal Studios is going to do quite well off of this. Not necessarily off of this video, but if Universal Studios treats their guests the proper way, as they have been treating them for decades, and Disney does not, well, that's going to only amplify this switch over to Universal as the premier parks of the world. Who knows, though? Maybe OLC will have just Tokyo Disney being seen as that beacon. And, of course, there are parks in the United States which still do a fantastic job, thinking about places like Silver City, Dollywood, etc., treating their guests extremely well. So, Disney, we hope you learn from that.
I have a little, you asked me about this cast member situation, and I talked a lot to Universal cast members and cast members from SeaWorld, and Universal was saying, when Epic Universe is opening, Disney will have a problem because many people are willing to go to Universal and work for them when Super Nintendo Land is opening. So there's
a new castle coming, Marina, and it's Peach's Castle.
Yeah.
And so that's right. It's beautiful, and we look forward to it. Like I said, this is not a channel that's anti-Disney. Disney just keeps giving us these kinds of stories that we need to cover, and it's very, very unfortunate, and we would very much like for them to turn it around and do so immediately. Marina, thank you so much for joining us. I hope it's not the last time. It has been a joy to have you on the channel, and I wish you all the very best, and I'm so pleased that you, with your disability, that you have been helping others who need a little extra strategy when navigating the world, and it's just such a joy to know that you're out there making the lives of others better, and I could tell that right away when you instantly were smiling when you came on camera, and I just knew that you had that Disney magic back from 2015, and you're still projecting that into the world, and so thank you so much. Folks, at the same time, if you would like to like content such as this, well, it's very simple. Click the like button, share, subscribe, and when you click it, you stick it to the algorithms. It's the notification bell. Drop a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts. And if you've had experiences, positive and negative, with cast members recently, please let us know. We'd also love to hear some of your amazing stories of how cast members used to treat guests back in the 90s, the 80s, the 70s, or even earlier than that. Folks, wherever you are and whatever you're doing, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.
This is Wilton the Troll reporting for That's Park Place, and I'm surrounded by loving and adoring people who are peacefully trying to make sure that poor kids aren't cold in the winter. And just behind me, you can see a totally natural bonfire for baking cookies or making marshmallows.
Yeah, so, Wilton, we really appreciate the effort and stuff, but we're looking for real and, accurate news reporting on that Park Place.
So not like most news outlets, huh?
No.